Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our coverage of the Top 10 Shootout for the round 8 of the Trackstars Touring Car Series. Of course, we're here at Mount Panorama Motor Racing Circuit for the Bathurst 1000, probably one of the biggest events on the Trackstars Racing Series calendar each and every year. Joining me this afternoon in the commentary box is Nicholas Patasso, of course, our 2020 Trackstars Touring Car Series champion, and I believe he was also a podium finisher in the 2020 Bathurst 1000, and I think he may have snuck another one in at some point, hopefully, but I'd have to check my records on that one. Good afternoon, Nick. Yeah, of course. Yes, we both have our own co-drivers in there, and it looks like our host and Ryan Palmer has kicked things off with the session itself. So first car's heading out on track, and we'll quickly run through the order now as I'll quickly bring up the graphics for that. And of course, we've got the two Mash Spuds Racing entries. The first two cars out on track who qualified 10th and 9th last night, of course. Nick Patasso's co-driver in Ollie Dowswell will be the first car out in the number 32, and then we've got Sandwith in the number 11 following him out. And then of course the debut of AGU Motorsport with Mario will be third out on track, and then fourth out in order will be Wood, our 2021 Trackstars Touring Car Series champion, and of course our 2021 Bathurst 1000 winner in the CP Motorsports 50. And then following him will be the defending TS2 Touring Car Champion, reigning Touring Car Champion, because he hasn't been defending his crown, and Von Duve in the number 117 Lexus. And then it'll be Ward for RoboSport Racing in the number 20, and then Walker in the WRT Motorsport 964. And then we'll have Aidan Halton in the 787 for WTC Racing, and then our two fastest drivers from last night will be Austin in the CP Motorsports number 1, last year's Trackstars Touring Car Series champion, and then Lee in the number 95 It's Racing Esports Nissan. Yeah, that was a very hairy lap, and unfortunately I kind of missed a lot of it trying to solve some of these issues, but yeah, we'll try and get through it as best as we can, and I might do a bit of switching around and see what we can achieve here. As we see Sandwith now on his warm-up lap, just heading across the top of the mountain, so we'll have a bit of a play around here and see if I can fix some things. Hopefully that has fixed it now. Looks like having a bit of issues there. Can't quite hear Nick. It seems to be cutting in and out, but Sandwith gone through Griffin's Bend for the first time. Nice smooth exit out of there. Not quite up to the wall, but then getting himself into cutting. Oh, he's run wide and into the wall. That's going to be a costly mistake there. That's really going to cost him a lot of time. That's probably going to relegate him down the order unless we see someone make a bit of a bigger mistake themselves. But it looks like he's gotten away without damage on that one as well. Yeah, trying to get things back going here. I do apologise to everyone. It seems to be a lot of technical difficulties going on with all of this. Certainly after a great Kyoto 500, we seem to be copying all the curses on the planet with this stream over this weekend. So do apologise if you can hear me, and hopefully it's all coming through nice and well some ways, in some form. As we have Mario now on his lap. Apologies, is sort of struggling to track along with that one as well. Yeah, good lap there from him, and yeah, makes sure that he stays up ahead of Ollie Dowswell there, and obviously also probably, well, will at least retain his 8th place in the order as we now move on to our 2021 Bathurst 1000 champion in Dan Wood, driving a number 50 CP Motorsports Nissan Skyline GTR as he heads through the chase towards the final corner now to start his lap. I didn't quite catch it, to be completely honest. I'm trying to, fix through some things. Let's see what he does up or down Conrod Straight. He is nearly a second up on Mario there through the end of the 3rd sector, down into the chase, breaks near the 100 metre marker, drops down to about 120, gets a great exit there and drifts it out to the curb. Just one more stop there for him into the final corner. And he negotiates that smoothly, runs a little bit wide onto the grass and gets a bit out of control on the exit. It should be enough for pole position though, so he still hangs on for the top spot at this point. So Von Duve making the run out Mountain Straight at the moment. Gets a good exit out of Hell Corner. And across the 1st sector split. He is down on Wood at the moment. As he heads into Griffin's Bend. Gets it stopped nicely. Just a little bit wide of the apex there. But takes it right out to the exit curb on the exit. Takes a nice wide entry into the cutting. Gets it turned in nicely through there. As now we head for the run across the top of the mountain, down through the grate, and gets it in, turned in nicely there as well. Flat out through McPhillamy Park and then across the skyline. Very late on the brakes there. Through into the dipper, very committed there. He's got some good speed through the dipper and a good run on down into Forest Elbow. He is still down a bit on Wood's time, but of course Wood did make that mistake there into the final corner as he now gets his run onto Conrod Straight, and we'll catch the 3rd sector split. Let's see if he is any closer to Woods this time around. Doesn't look like he is up there on Woods. Through the chase, he isn't carrying a lot of speed compared to other cars I've seen through practice and qualifying. So he must be running a bit more of an aerodynamic setup as he comes out the chase down into the final corner. He gets a good exit there, probably better than what Woods achieved, and he'll come across the line and he'll go purple with a 150.8. He's been putting in some great performances all year, in my honest opinion, and he's certainly been going about his business quietly, and obviously scored a fine podium at Kyoto, so he's definitely a contender for a pole position if things go his way, and also a podium tomorrow in the race, or even a win if everything goes the way that he likes, as he got a little bit of a taily exit there out of Hell Corner, but he is 2/10 up on Von Duve's first sector. And he heads through Griffin's Bend, has it nice and tight and hugging the curb there on the apex. And takes out nice and wide. There's a bit of a wide run there through the cutting. Might have cost him a little bit of time there. And he gets a little bit sideways there as he goes over the bump.
Hold it through the dipper and cutting back into a nice exit on the going into Forest Elbow. Still up on Von Duve's time there. Runs it a little bit deep there. Might compromise his exit speed off Forest Elbow, but down the Conrod straight he goes is Ian Ward for Robo Sport Racing, car number 20. As he's trying to get that car into provisional pole position. We've seen some really good lap times by all the drivers. They're still purple. Goes Ward. He's looking very nice, clocking well over 300 kilometers down Conrod Straight, breaking it late into the chase. A very nice entry and exit for Ward. As we lead down into Murray's Corner for his last attempt to try and get provisional pole position. Runs it a little bit wide there, but still makes the corner. Doesn't run it onto the grass there. Will he be the first man into the 50s? No, he's not in the 50s there. He's a 1 minute 50.4. So that's a very good gap over Von Duve. Almost over 3.5 tenths on the WTC driver.
Yeah, very good lap there from Ward, and obviously puts himself up in the first at the moment. Of course, we've got 4 more runners to come out onto the track. And the next of those, of course, is Walker in the number 964 WRT Motorsports Nissan.
So far, provisional pole position, pole sitter is Ward for Robo Sport Racing. Second place is Wade Von Duve for WTC Racing. Third is Dan Wood for CP Motorsports. Fourth is D Mario for the debuting AGU Motorsports. Fifth, Ollie Dowswell and his teammate in Les Samwith for the Ultipac MSR Lexus in 5th and 6th place. We have Nightwalker coming along the track, setting his hot lap. He's going for an aggressive hot lap out here, Jarman. So I don't know. So what do you think would be the best strategy to set yourself up for a hot lap around Mount Panorama? Do you feel like you need to go really aggressive, really full send the car just to understand the characteristics and how the car behavior is, or do you just take the time and just really warm the tires up and plan how you're going to tackle the mountain?
I guess it's probably a bit of individual preference and sort of what works best for each driver. I'm going to say maybe someone like Walker can find a bit more confidence from going straight out on their lap and really trying to feel what the grip level is at each corner and what they need to do, whereas other drivers may feel that they can achieve better times from getting that warm up and sort of maybe have a bit better muscle memory of what they can do around the lap.
So as we have the next, we have, very taily of the exit of Murray's Corner to start his first hot lap here at Mount Panorama, as we lead the way with Walker, car 964 WRT Motorsports, after a very hairy start and exit out of Murray's Corner. That's going to lose a little bit of confidence there, a little bit of speed on pitch straight, but he got turn one nicely done, and up the mountain he goes for the first time. He's not up on Ward's time, which was a very cracking lap time that was set by Ward with a 1 minute 50.4, exiting out of Griffin's Bend very nicely there. Didn't really hug the inside line, but he still kept it on the track well clear of the ripple strip on the left-hand side. Through the cutting he goes, very nicely planted. He's running first gear there, so maybe an aggressive gearbox, a bit of a high-range gearbox. Maybe Walker is running with in the 964. Through Solomon, up to the metal grates, clip the wall on the right-hand side, and then bang, he clips the wall on the outside of McPhillamy, going up through Reed, and then through to McPhillamy he goes. Down to the S's, he's not up on Ward's time. Very late on the brakes. I'm very surprised how committed these drivers are, really running these cars to the absolute limit through the S's, braking very, very late and committing themselves through the dipper without any mistakes whatsoever there. Unfortunately, we did see one in Sandwood's time, but so far for the rest of the field, they've been doing a very good job. And Walker especially got a very nice exit out of Forest Elbow, and down Conrod Straight he goes, waiting patiently, just plunging.
A bit wide there through to Chase as he makes an exit, and now to run down to Murray's Corner. Let's see what Walker can do on the exit. Good exit out of the final corner there. Comes on the run to the line, and it's a 50.6, so only good enough for second place at the moment. So you will lose a position to Ward there, as we now jump down to the next car in the order. Qualified in third place last night. It is, of course, Halton in the WTC Racing 787, as he tries to get some warmth in his tyres heading down Conrod Straight.
You want to be careful because the track is quite narrow up the top of the hill there. You think you've got so much room there, but as soon as you one little jolt in the wheel and you just meet yourself some grass, and then you meet the barrier on the opposite side there, as he actually demonstrated there very nicely, kicking up a bit of dirt there. Not going to help his tyres come through, but it's only a little bit for Aidan Holton in car 787, co-driving alongside Andrew Scott from WTC Racing. So the highest placed Lexus from qualifying is now on track for his hot lap. Aidan Holton, the man that leads through turn one. The car is very nicely planted from what we saw throughout qualifying, and he's got that 787 to his liking, and now it is time for him to tackle the mountain, as he's up purple, just over a 10th and a half on Ward's time. And as he goes through Griffin's Bend, a very nice aggressive lap here, very strong lap, very good warm-up phase for Aidan Holton, as he runs it right up against the wall there, trying to go as wide as he can to try and brake very late rather, to go into the cutting. And as he goes through Gumtree and then through Solomon, very nicely done there, flat to the floor, runs it through to the grate, up through Reed Park. Very nice lap here so far by Aidan Holton. Just runs it a little bit onto the grass there, almost Scott McLaughlin-esque, but he's still up on Ward's time. Not by much though, so he's still got a little bit of time to make up on the straight.
He made a bit of contact there with the wall by the looks of things.
It looked very close there for Aidan Holton there. It looks like a little bit flustered there on the Lexus RCS, and maybe the tyres are actually a little bit too overpressured, and maybe a little bit too much heat has gone into those tyres, maybe losing a bit of grip through the dipper. So we'll find out when he goes through the chase on his hot lap, but he's coming through to the Mitsubishi Fuso banner. He's still up by a considerable margin, half a second on Ward's time. Wow, so that was, even though he cost himself a mistake there, he still managed to gain so much time on Ward's hot lap. A very nicely executed chase entry and exit there, and down through to Murray's Corner for the completion of his hot lap here at Mount Panorama for the Track Stars Racing Series Bathurst 1000. It is going to be provisional pole position. Yes, it is for Aidan Holton, a 1 minute 49.6. Basically the same lap time that he's actually set himself in qualifying, Jarman, I believe.
Yeah, that was basically very close to a replica of what he's done in qualifying. So very good lap there from Holton. He's managed to replicate what he's done last night, and that could hold him in some very good stead for the rest of the last two cars on the track, as it may be a bit difficult for maybe Austin or Lee to replicate what they did last night.
So as we go, the 2022 Track Stars Touring Cars champion in Jackson Austin, who's taken a bit of hiatus away from 2023, but he is back as a co-driver for Matt Campbell in car number 1 for CP Motorsports. He's in love with this track. He actually took pole position last time out in 2020 for the Bathurst 1000, then for RoboSport Racing, doing a very good job there, as very well executed held corner going up Mountain Straight into Griffin's Bend.
Loses a little bit of traction there on the exit of Griffin's Bend. Not sure how much that will cost him though in the grand scheme of things. Probably not too much, as he gets a really good exit there out of the cutting over that little hump there as he heads through Reed Park. Sparks flying there through the metal grate, up across McPhillamy and across the skyline. Very committed to this lap, and he's nearly 0.3 of a second up on Holton's time so far. Gets a good exit there out of the dipper, gets the traction down nice and easy, and gets the car slowed down perfectly forwarded for a elbow, and a great exit out there onto Conrod Straight. It's definitely looking like a very fast lap so far. Let's see what the sector split is as he goes under the sign advertising. It's nearly 0.4 of a second, so he's gained a tenth at this point. Deep on the brakes into the chase.
You have to remember Holton did make a mistake at the dipper there, so Austin has gained time on Holton as he comes through on the exit of the chase into Murray's corner. This will potentially put him into provisional pole position, but will this be the first 1 minute 48 that we see in car number 1 from CP Motorsports as he crosses the start-finish line? Are we into the 1 minute 48s? No, we're not. Only just misses 1 minute 49 flat. Wow. Very close lap times there, but this is your man, Jarman. This is your team. Tell us about this man in Andrew Lee, who's going to come out in the 96 It's Racing Esports Nissan GTR, sponsored by More Mechanical. What can this man do as he starts to head up towards, as he starts his hot lap around Mount Panorama?
Yes, Andrew Lee is starting his lap now. Of course, he has been recruited by his co-driver in Ridwan. He's certainly someone that gave permission for Ridwan to go out and pick the driver of his choosing. That's who he came back with, and certainly a very good choice there from him as he goes through the first sector. Just 0.4 of a second between himself and Austin through there. Of course, it's just one corner and a couple of straights, so there's not much to be gained or lost there unless you make a mistake, as he is very committed there into the cutting, getting the power down without losing traction as he heads on the run across the top of the mountain. And we try and get another sector time through the second sector. Very committed across the top of the mountain, and he's 0.3 of a second up there after sector 2. Looked a little bit messy there, but I think he still carried a good amount of speed and got the power down easily as he heads through Forest Elbow. Looks like a little bit of a taily moment, but still managed to get the power down nicely. And now he makes the run down Conrod Straight. Let's see what he does through the third sector. It's 0.7 of a second up, so a brilliant lap time there so far from Lee as he heads to the chase right at the 100 metre marker on the brakes, and gets a brilliant exit out of the chase there, heading down to Murray's corner for the final time. I think this is basically going to be pole position if he doesn't make a mistake. It'll just be what the lap time number is as he crosses the line. and it's a 1:48.1, so even faster than what he did yesterday in qualifying. And Andrew Lee is going to take pole position for tomorrow's Bathurst 1000.
Wow, what an absolutely amazing lap there by Andrew Lee, who is definitely one of Australia's fastest sim racers in all of Gran Turismo history. He's actually put it on pole position and a fair gap over Jackson Austin. Nearly 9/10 of a second there. My goodness, what a lap that was for the It's Racing Esports driver. But I will say, though, it is 3 in a row for the It's Racing esports team to claim pole position around Mount Panorama. So what is it like? So what is it about this track and the It's Racing cars, Jarman, as you are the team boss of the team?
Oh, I don't think I can take much credit for any of that, because I mean, realistically, at the end of the day, we've had basically 2 extremely good drivers in Matt Simmons and Andrew Lee piloting those cars, and I think you could probably put them in probably any of the cars on the field and they'd probably still produce the same results. So definitely not much credit the team itself can take for that, but of course all of the guys probably very committed to racing around Bathurst as well and are willing to put in the time and effort to practice for it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. There, as we have our grid right on the left-hand side there, it is Andrew Lee that will be starting the great race tomorrow morning on live and free on Trackstars Racing Series YouTube channel on pole position. So he collects the check of Monopoly money around so that he can claim himself and his teammate in Rewan Humza, so they can have some fresh Monopoly money with Australian currency on it. And then we have Jackson Austin in P2 for CP Motorsport. So 1 and 2 that we saw from qualifying still keeps their positions in 1 and 2, as well as Captain Muffin retaining his position in position 3, the fastest Lexus around Mount Panorama with a very good time there, 1.4 behind Andrew Lee. And then 4th place we have Ward for RoboSport Racing, the only driver, the only team with a 3-man driver team in Ward, Curry and Heaton in 4th place. Then we have Nightwalker and Jarman Dalitz in 5th place, Von Duvey and Aussie Taylor in 6th place, Dan Wood and Matt Campbell in position 7, Di Mario, and I believe there's another driver. I'm not so sure who the co-driver is for Di Mario. Maybe you might be able to give me a little bit more information on that.
I don't have an exact name yet, but we do have a driver lined up. We just need to get the final details on that one.
Absolutely. That was actually very last minute as well, ladies and gentlemen. But then in 9th place we have Ollie Delswell partnering alongside myself and Nick Patasso, and then we have Les Sandwith partnering Chris Lashbrook, rounding up the field of our top 10 drivers. Wow, what an incredible top 10 shootout that was, Jarman. That makes me so excited for what is to come tomorrow morning here at Trackstars Racing Series for the Trackstars Bathurst 1000.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to the race tomorrow morning. It'll be certainly an exciting one throughout the day, hopefully. Although, of course, you never know what you can get with Bathurst, so it'll be interesting to see what we do get.
Lots of carnage, a lot of drama, and if the mountain does always claims its victims. So who will be victimized in Mount Panorama? Who will come out on top at the end of 161 laps? We saw the real deal last weekend in the real world of the supercars Bathurst 1000. Now it's Trackstars Racing Series turn to conquer the mountain. So tune in tomorrow at 10:30 Australian Eastern Daylight Time for what is going to be an epic race here at Mount Panorama, all broadcasted by yours truly, Nick Patasso, Jarman Dalitz, and as well as our other co-commentator in Ryan Palmer. We're very excited to bring you the coverage. So I'll leave you with the final words, Jarman, and bring on Bathurst.
Yeah, congratulations, obviously, to Andrew Lee and Ridwan Humza in the 95 for taking pole position, and of course a brilliant effort from all of our competitors today who all made it inside the top 10. A brilliant effort from every one of you. Of course, thanks for everyone for tuning in. Apologies for some of the technical issues we have encountered this afternoon, but hopefully all of that will be fixed up for the Porsche Cup races later on tonight, and obviously the race itself tomorrow. So I look forward to seeing every one of you tuning in to the race tomorrow as we watch 161 laps of Trackstars Touring Car action for the Bathurst 1000 and see who will be crowned champions of the Bathurst 1000 for 2023. So from myself, John Medalitz, and of course